Good afternoon, everyone. We have the Portuguese interpreter here. So can we address Fernando de Beer? He's here. Okay, Mr. de Beer,
Senhor de Beer,
you are before the court for a change of charge.
o senhor está perante a corte para uma mudança de acusação.
When you
I'm
were,
late for my. Sorry.
go, you what?
No, sorry.
Do you have an attorney or something?
O senhor tem um advogado, alguma coisa?
Who's his? Oh, that's right. He does have an attorney.
Tá correto, ele tem um advogado.
Your Honor, if I may?
Sure.
Thank you.
Com sua permissão, Vossa Excelência.
Mr. De Beer is represented by Michael Gottlieb.
O senhor de Beer está sendo representado por Michael Dalif.
I spoke with Mr. Gottlieb this morning.
Eu falei com o senhor Gali essa manhã.
Mr. Gottlieb could not be here to appear before Your Honor today.
O senhor Gali não pôde comparecer aqui hoje perante Vossa Excelência hoje.
However, he has been in contact with my office.
No entanto, ele entrou em contato com o meu escritório.
And I confirmed the information he had already received.
E eu confirmei a informação que ele já recebeu.
That the state downfiled the premeditated murder charge to murder in the second degree.
Que o Estado submeteu homicídio premeditado para homicídio de segundo grau.
He also, based on our conversation, is aware that Your Honor found proof evident or presumption great for premeditated murder at the first appearance.
E ele falou que a meritíssima havia encontrado prova para morte, homicídio culposo na primeira audiência.
And I believe you both agree that Your Honor does have the ability, since the state has filed a lesser included, that the court retains the ability to adopt your finding for this offense as well.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'll do my best. I believe we both agree that because what he's now charged with.
Ok, eu creio que porque o que ele está sendo acusado agora, meritíssimo,
is a lesser included offense of the original charge.
É uma ofensa menor do que a ofensa original.
That Your Honor can adopt the previous rule.
Que o meritíssimo pode adotar a sentenciamento anterior.
Mr. De Beer is scheduled for arraignment before Judge Tim Bailey on Monday morning.
O senhor de Beer vai comparecer para para a leitura de acusações perante o juiz Bailey na segunda-feira de manhã.
Mr. Gottlieb will be present.
O senhor Gottlieb vai estar presente.
And he intends to file the appropriate motions before Judge Gottlieb.
E ele está planejando apresentar os pedidos correspondentes perante o juiz Gottlieb.
And he just wanted me to, he asked if I could advise Mr. De Beer that Mr. Gottlieb he wasn't aware that he was going to be before Your Honor today.
Que ele só gostaria que eu informasse ao senhor De Beer, o senhor Gottlieb, que ele não sabia que o senhor ia estar comparecendo perante o meritíssimo hoje.
Okay, sir, do you understand?
O senhor entendeu?
Yes. Okay, so today I'm to let you know that the charge has been changed.
Então estamos aqui hoje para lhe informar que a acusação foi mudada
from premeditated murder
de homicídio premeditado
to murder in the second degree with a firearm.
Para homicídio em segundo grau com uma arma de fogo.
I will adopt the previous findings from the first appearance.
Eu vou adotar, então, o sentenciamento da primeira audiência.
And you will see your attorney in court on Monday.
E o senhor vai ver o seu advogado na corte na segunda-feira,
Okay?
ok?
All right, good luck, sir.
Ok, boa sorte, senhor.
Thank you very much, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you.
Here's your paperwork.
They're aware of it.
All right, can we go to Natalie Dixon?
Morning, Your Honor. Is Paul Ryan still there?
Paul Ryan, okay?
Ms. Dixon has bonded.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Carla Ordonez,
No problem, Your Honor.
all right, Ms.
I have no
Ordonez.
idea what he said. I did come in with a black bra. No wires.
And here we go.
Okay, so,
And I'm crazy, so you know we can't talk with our hands. And I've been working for NAMI since I got out of jail the last time over here. And I have no rights here. Here he comes again.
all right. So I have to tell you, ma'am, that you are before the court for trespassing and that the court does find probable cause. And, was Ms. Ordonez ever before Judge Lerner Wren? Do we have,
I'd have to check.
No time like the present.
well, in either case, I will sign an order to transfer her to to Judge Lerner Wren.
I'll let her judicial
Okay.
assistant know, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mia Pulgar. Okay. Herlene Dolce.
No problem.
All right, Ms. Dolce, this is to let you know that you have an out-of-state felony hold out of the state of South Carolina. And it has a no bond hold, so you should be going to extradition court next week, okay? All right.
Thank you. That's what it was for? To tell me I'm going to.
Dante Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Why you tell me I had another charge?
County facility on it.
No, we're done, yes.
And we get our list where?
Good morning, Judge.
Where's, Mr. okay.
County facility.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, you are before the court for 2 additional charges. Number 4 is domestic battery by strangulation. And number 5 is touch or strike battery domestic. The court does, find probable cause.
Okay.
I don't know how much
Count,
bond Mr.
count
Davis.
2 and 3 are no bond holds.
Okay, so I will impose $5,000 bond on each count, 4 and 5. And no victim contact until further order of the court. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Markel Hill,
He's approaching Judge to hear me.
all right, Mr. Hill is before the court for 1 count of aggravated battery, where, you should have known that the victim was pregnant. All right, the court does find probable cause.
Your Honor, Mr. Hill's criminal history, 2018 possession of cannabis, 2016, 2 counts of dealing in stolen property, 2 counts of false ownership info on a pawn item, grand theft, a little over 22 and a half months state prison, robbery by sudden snatching, 2015. There was a battery arrest in 2014 that was declined. And trespass resisted without violence in '09. State would be requesting a $7,500 bond, no victim contact.
Okay,
Judge, in speaking with Mr. Hill, from what he's telling me, he's looking forward to contesting these allegations. He's adamant that, that this has been, not correctly, he wasn't correctly arrested for the charges. That's what he is advising me, Judge, so he wants to contest these allegations. He's been living here his whole entire life, he's 28 years old. Right now, he's looking for work, so he doesn't really have any financial resources coming in. I did advise him that the court will order a no contact order. He will abide by that court order. He'll be living separate and apart from the alleged victim. He has family that live in our community that he'll be reaching out to. Now, the only person that can potentially post his monetary bond, Judge, is his mother, and she works for a school in the cafeteria. Her financial resources are quite limited. Judge, we're going to be respectfully asking for the court to consider a $2,500 bond on Mr. Hill's behalf.
all right, the court finding probable cause, Mr. Hill's bond will be $7,500. No victim contact until further order of the court. Eduardo Estrada Bonet.
Judge, he's going to need a Spanish interpreter. I believe my colleague is contacting Mr. Reedy.
We have one on the way.
All right, we'll recall him.
Come on, Siento, por favor.
William Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, come on. He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Lewis is before the court for one count of petty theft, and count two is possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, in speaking to Mr. Lewis, he advised me that his bond should be already posted. Can we check with confinement status?
Okay. It's not showing. No.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Hugo Grantham. Hugo Grantham.
He's here present.
Mr. Grantham's bond has been posted. Okay, so Mr. Grantham, you're before the court for a touch or strike battery. You find probable cause and your bond has been posted. Good luck, sir. James Roberts.
He's approaching, Judge. He's here present, Judge.
All right, Mr. Roberts, you're before the court for trespassing, and the court finds probable cause. What does Mr. Roberts want to do?
He wishes to resolve the matter, Judge.
Your Honor,
Is everything okay with Mr. Roberts? Say, what's the,
the offer would be a time served, no return to this Wawa.
okay?
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
All right, Mr. Roberts, do you understand everything that's going on here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the offer that has been extended by the state?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you understand that you cannot go back to that Wawa location?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please raise your right hand, sir, as best you can. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Mr. Roberts, is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that you do have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And sir, you do understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes.
Yes, ma'am.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Roberts?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence serves adjudication and time served. And let me remind you again, do not return to that Wawa, okay?
Ma'am.
All right, Antonio Prospect,
Bonded.
all right. And Jose Lopez Torres. All right, Mr.
Yes, Your President.
Lopez Torres, you're before the court for count 1 is DUI, alcohol or drugs. Excuse me. Count 2 is DUI with a breath level greater than .15. And count 3 is driving while license suspended. And the court finds probable cause as to those 3 counts.
Judge, nothing to add by the defense. He gave me the phone number of his friend who I intend on calling him after court.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Lopez Torres has a total bond of $1,500. Glenroy Odell.
North Broward, I believe, Judge.
All right, Mr. Odell, you're before the court. This is for an additional charge. This is now charge number 6 for possession of drug paraphernalia. Do we know how much bond Mr. Odell
Mr.
already
Odell has a no bond hold on count 5, Judge. I just ask you to leave the $100 bond alone on count
All right,
6.
so the bond on this count is $100. Good luck, sir. Mohammed Haq. All right. Adam Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, come on up, please. Your President, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez is before the court. Count 1 is distributing or delivering cocaine. Count 2 is possession of cocaine. Count 3 is possession of drug paraphernalia. And count 4 is driving while license suspended. And the court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add at this time. He gave me the phone number of his family. I'm going to be contacting after court.
All right, standard bonds are in place.
Good luck, sir.
Brian Glover. All right, Mr. Glover, you are before the court. Count 1 is possession of cannabis 20 grams or less. And count 2 is possession of MDMA. And the court finds probable cause.
Your Honor, he's currently on pre-trial in case number 19004045, CF Tene for possession of fentanyl. We're asking that you revoke his pre-trial.
And when was Mr. Glover placed on pretrial?
March 28th. The original charge was possession of heroin. It's been a change.
It ain't possession. They never got it off me. They found it up on the car. It wasn't never mine. So possession,
All right.
they got it off.
Mr.
Hang
Glover.
on, Mr. Glover.
Mr. Glover, I tell you at this time not to talk about your case. Everything in this courtroom at this time is being recorded and can be used against you at a later time, okay? All right, State?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. In addition to that pending case, Mr. Glover has 2005 strong arm robbery where he was sentenced to 10 years in state prison, battery 06, resisting without violence 04.
Judge, it seems Mr. Glover cannot make the $1,000 bond. I would ask you to consider placing him on pretrial release on this charge. 'Cause I don't think you don't have any money to bond out, do you, Mr. Glover?
I didn't have, I have numbers to call, but nobody have, T-Netic on their phone, so it's gonna be hard, so I would appreciate if I can get released on, pre-trial.
Well, here's the issue. You were placed on pretrial earlier this year, and now you are before the court on another drug charge. And so, I don't have confidence that pretrial is working. So at this time, on case number 19-004045 CF10A, I am going to grant the revocation of pretrial, on that case. And, I am going to impose a $5,000 bond on that case. And then as to the new arrest, the court finds probable cause, and I am going to increase that bond to $5,000 on the possession of MDMA. All right, good luck, sir.
So how much I have to pay to get out?
$10,000 is the total bond that you have in these two cases. All right, Timothy Charles.
Sir Timothy Charles is here present, Judge, I mean. Schilling, who's Schilling? Schilling, have a seat there. And
Mr. Charles, you are before the court for possession of blank or forged, stolen driver's license, and the court finds probable cause.
Judge, Mr. Charles did advise me that a friend and family are going to be posting his bond. Can we check to see if it's already been posted?
No,
Nothing to add from this
okay,
Judge.
it's a $1,000 bond. Philip Emmanuel,
Mr. Emmanuel, come on up, please.
Mr. Emmanuel is before the court. Count one is grand theft. Count two is possession of a vehicle with altered numbers. Count three is possession of counterfeit driver's license or ID. Count four, possession of counterfeit driver's license or ID. Count five is operating without a valid driver's license. Six is an improper turn, which is a traffic infraction not for magistrate, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Emmanuel, I'm going to be contacting his father right after court, so nothing to add at this time, Judge.
Nothing from the state.
All right, so the standard bonds will remain. Kyle Rivera.
Mr. Rivera's here.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you are before the court for trafficking and synthetic cannabinoid, 1,000 grams or less than 30 kilograms. And count two is possession of cannabis over 20 grams. And the court finds probable cause.
Judge, Mr. Rivera applied for a public defender. As you could see here, he has a $500,000 bond. That's something that Mr. Rivera financially cannot afford, nor his family. My understanding, which he's been here his whole entire life, he's 26 years old. My understanding, this is his first time being arrested. He's a registered voter here in Broward County. He just got a brand new job working at Best Buy in their Geek Squad department. As a new hire, he's there 2 months. He's making about $12.50 an hour. Now, he lives in Pembroke Pines in his parents' home. My understanding is they're paying mortgage approximately $1,400 a month, and about in 20 years, that house will be theirs. His mom works for the school board at a local school in the registration department, where she registers the new students. From what he advised me, his family can't come anywhere close to posting that monetary bond. So Judge, considering if the state can confirm, this is his first time being arrested, his very strong ties to the community, he will be back to court. He's not a flight risk judge. We're going to be asking if the court would consider a $50,000 bond on count one.
Your Honor, I see no history. I would ask the court to take into consideration, if convicted, even with no history, if convicted of this offense, he faces a 15-year minimum mandatory prison sentence. I'd ask the court to take into consideration the amount of synthetics that law enforcement found. It's almost twice almost 2,000 grams, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, fine, just update it.
All right, count one, Mr. Rivera's bond will be 100,000, and count two will be 1,000, okay? Stephen Kosciuszko,
Mr. Kosciuszko, come on up, please.
Mr. Kosciuszko is before the court for one count of possession of heroin, count two is possession of cocaine, count three is possession of drug paraphernalia, count four is a traffic infraction not for magistrate, and the court finds probable cause.
Judge, speaking Mr. Kosciuszko, he's requesting the court consider releasing him ROR. He's 27 years old and living in South Florida for the past 5 years. He is working. He works for the same company for the past 3 years, for a health insurance company. Judge, his wages fluctuate depending on commission and sales, Judge, but in an average, it's about $500 a week. He lives in North Lauderdale, where he's basically just moved into a new apartment. My understanding, Judge, he does have prior contact with the criminal justice system, but from my understanding, it's limited. I believe it was 3 months ago for a misdemeanor offense, and then back in October of 2018. So, Judge, having said that, considering this is a nonviolent charge, we're asking that the court consider releasing Mr. Kosciuszko ROR, is what he's requesting.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have no objection to non-monetary release. I would be asking for pretrial, though. And it looks like he has an open paraphernalia on a municipal ordinance charge out of Broward right now.
Judge, considering the state doesn't have an objection to pretrial with, and I just advised Mr. Kosciuszko the recommendation as far as subject to random drug testing, he's fine with it, so we're requesting that.
Okay, at this time, I'll release Mr. Kosciuszko to pretrial supervision, and that's going to include random drug testing. Sir, you must report by Monday morning. Failure to do so, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck. Marvin McClam.
He's here present, Judge.
Mr. McClam is before the court. Count one is possession of cocaine. Count two is possession of heroin. Count three is possession of drug paraphernalia. And the court finds probable cause. All right, I'll hear from anyone who wants to be heard.
Judge McClain, I did advise him that the standard bonds, which are currently set, are $2,100. From what he advised me, he can't afford that. He gets disability. He gets approximately $700 per month. He's been here his whole life. He's 38. He lives locally here in Pompano Beach, where he with a roommate in Pembroke Pines. Judge, no, sorry, Pompano Beach. My apologies, Pompano Beach. So he's asked what would consider releasing him on pretrial release with random drug testing.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir, you need to report to pretrial supervision offices by Monday morning. Failure to do so, warrant will be issued for your arrest, and it's also going to include random drug testing. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Daniel McQueen,
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. McQueen is before the court for, count one is giving a false ID given to law enforcement officer. Counts 2 and 3 are felony violation of pretrial. Those have no bond holds and are not for magistrate. The court does find probable cause. The bond on count 1 is $100. Good luck, sir. Marcus Schilling,
Mr. Schilling, come on up. Mr. Schilling. He's approaching, Judge. Judge, and he declined the service of public defender. He'll be hiring his attorney.
okay?
Mr.
So, Mr. Schilling, you are before the court for 1 count of DUI with damage to property. Count 2 is DUI. Count 3 is refusing to submit to DUI test. And count 4 is failing to remain at an accident, okay? The court does,
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can barely hear you because there's too much noise in here.
all right, over at the main jail, if you take it down a little bit,
Sorry, Miss J.
thank you. All right, so let's try this again. You are before the court for 1 count of DUI with damage to property. You heard that?
Yes,
Count 2 is DUI, alcohol or drugs, first offense.
that's correct.
Count 3 is refusing to submit to a DUI test. And count 4 is failing to stop or remain at an accident. And the court finds probable cause for all those counts, and I know you said you were hiring counsel, but is there anything that you wish to say in regards to setting your bond? How much bond do you think you can afford?
My bond was paid already.
Your bond was paid? Was Mr. Schilling's bond paid?
Even if it was paid on the first 2 counts, he still would have the 4th count where a bond would have to be set or not set.
No, so no bond has been paid, Mr. Schilling, and also no bond was preset on charge number 4, which I now have to set a bond on. So, again, is there anything that you wish to say in regards to how much bond you can afford or anything?
And how much the total for the bond?
Well, we don't know the total yet because I still have to set a bond on count 4. So far, you have $1,500, but I have to set an additional bond for the count 4. Are you working, sir?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
I'm a broker, insurance broker.
Okay, all right. And how long have you been doing that?
About 15 years.
Okay, and have you have already spoken to family members or friends in regards to posting your bond?
No, I just have my manager. She was supposed to have bond this morning.
Well, probably they told her that you haven't been before the magistrate judge yet, and that count 4, I don't know, I'm just guessing, and that count 4 still doesn't have a bond. So she couldn't post all the bonds yet because a bond needs to be set.
Okay.
All right, so I'll hear from the state at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state's going to be requesting a bond increase on count 1 to $5,000, a $5,000 bond on count 4, pretrial release with a TAD monitor no alcohol or intoxicants or driving until further order of the court. Your Honor, this is not Mr. Schilling's first DUI. This will be his third DUI. He had DUI convictions in 2009 and 2008. He also had a DUI arrest in 1996 that was dropped. I also note, Your Honor, while it says a 2013 Lexus as his vehicle, I don't know if that's a typo, Your Honor. We checked in with DHSMV. He purchased a 2019 Lexus last year. Also, he purchased a 2019 Toyota four-door. I don't know what make. But clearly, there are financial means. And I do believe Mr. Schilling poses a danger to the community in this instance, while under the influence, getting in an accident and then leaving the scene where one of the people involved suffered an injury.
Okay. All right, on count one, sir, your bond is going to be $5,000.
Okay.
On count two, the bond is $1,000. Count three, no bond is required, so I'll not impose a bond on three. And on count four, you'll have a $5,000 bond. Okay?
No problem. So the total is 5,000, that's what you're saying?
Well, the total bond is 11,000, but I'm also going to put you on a GPS monitor. And then there is going to be a TAD. Okay? And the pretrial supervision services will come to the jail to talk to you further about those additional monitors. The no alcohol or intoxicants during the pendency of this case. All right. All right, sir. Good luck. Yes. Yes.
You know, I can't understand how much he got to post the bond though. Like,
Timothy Washington Major.
He's here present, Judge Maine. Come on up, sir.
You don't have to write TH.
All right, Mr. Washington Major, you're before the court for battery on an officer. And the court finds probable cause. And here is the bond.
Your Honor, the state would be requesting a $1,500 bond. Based on the totality of the circumstances, he does have a lengthy criminal history.
Okay?
Judge, at this time, we have an agreement that's reasonable. We're just also going to be asking for a photo.
All right, I'll sign the order. $1,500. Madam Interpreter, you came in and then it's almost like you disappeared. I'm sorry. All right, I believe Mr. Estrada Bonet needed the Spanish interpreter.
Mr. Estrada is approaching, Judge.
All right, sir, you're before the court
Señor ha comparecido hoy.
for one count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Es un cargo de agresión grave con un arma mortífera.
It's a domestic action.
Es una acusación conectada con un caso de violencia doméstica.
And the court finds probable cause.
La Corte decide que existe motivo fundado.
And I'll hear from the parties as to bond at this time.
Vamos a escuchar de las partes sobre la fianza en este momento.
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting a $10,000 bond and no victim contact.
De parte del Estado pide una fianza de $10,000 y que le quede prohibido tener contacto con la víctima.
I see no criminal history,
No vemos antecedentes,
but I am very concerned considering we have allegations
pero tenemos una alta preocupación debido a las alegaciones
involving a 2x4 being used as a weapon,
que tiene que ver con una madera 2x4 que se use como un arma
and the defendant arming himself with a sword to use as a weapon.
y que también el acusado utilizó una espada como arma.
Nothing further, Judge.
Así que no queremos decir nada más.
Judge, Mr. Estrada did tell me he's looking forward to disputing these allegations.
De parte de la defensa queremos dejarle saber a la señoría que el señor Estrada disputa estas alegaciones
He's adamant he was defending himself.
y quiere dejar que conste que él se estaba defendiendo.
As the state did say, this is his first contact with the criminal justice system.
Y estamos de acuerdo con lo que dijo el Estado, que es la primera vez que ha estado arrestado o que tiene contacto con el sistema judicial.
Now, he just got a brand new job. It's at a fish packing plant.
Recién empezó un trabajo en una factoría donde hacen envases de pescado.
He's been there for 1 week now.
Tiene ahí una semana estar trabajando ahí
Making approximately $9 an hour.
y gana unos $9 la hora.
Now, him and the alleged victim do live together, so I did advise him the court is going to order no contact.
Ahora, él y la supuesta víctima sí viven juntos. Le dejé saber que la corte va a pedir que no tenga contacto con la víctima.
Now, he will be abiding by that court order, so he'll be living separate and apart from the alleged victim, and he has a friend that he's going to be asking to move in with.
Él va a obedecer la orden de la corte y va a vivir en otro lugar. Tiene una amistad con la cual puede ir a vivir.
Now, the only person that can help him financially in posting his monetary bond is his mother, who's here present, I believe.
Y la única persona que tiene la capacidad de ayudarlo para pagar la fianza sería la mamá. La mamá creo que está aquí con nosotros.
Now, Mr. Estrada did tell me he believes his mom has limited financial resources.
Y el señor Estrada me dijo que él piensa que la mamá tiene recursos limitados.
I believe she's a caretaker by trade.
La mamá cuida a personas, ese es el trabajo de ella.
So I'm going to be requesting a $2,500 bond on Mr. Estrada's behalf.
Por esas razones vamos a pedir que la fianza del señor Estrada quede en $2,500.
Okay, ma'am, is there something you wanted to say?
Señora, ¿usted quería decir algo?
Que es cierto lo del palo, pero él no lo hirió con la espada. Él tenía la espada en la mano.
The thing is that it's true about that piece of wood.
I don't want to hear about the case.
Es mejor no hablar del caso.
That will be for another day.
Eso lo hablamos en otro
If
día.
you have anything to say in regards to the bond,
¿Hay algo que usted quiere decir, no, que tiene que ver con-
that's what I will hear today.
I will be trying to post bond for him. The thing is that I don't have that kind of money right now. I don't make a lot of money on my job. I'm going to I'm going to try to speak to his dad and see what we can do. And that way I can find out maybe he can help me.
Okay. All right, I'm going to impose a $2,500 bond.
Vamos a dejar la fianza entonces en 2.500.
He cannot have any contact, no contact with the alleged victim in the case.
Queda prohibido tener cualquier tipo de contacto con la supuesta víctima de este caso.
That means no phone calls,
Eso quiere decir que no puede llamar por teléfono,
no text messages,
no le puede mandar mensajes por teléfono,
no social media,
no puede usar medios sociales,
no third-party contact.
no puede mandar a un tercero a comunicarse con esa persona.
And Mom, I know you're here today on his behalf,
Mamá, yo sé que usted vino hoy para apoyarlo.
and so you understand,
It's the two of them, they're my kids.
also you understand that he cannot have any contact until further order of the court.
They're brothers. Solo quiero que usted entienda, que le quede muy claro, no pueden comunicarse hasta que la orden lo permita, hasta que la corte lo permita. Okay,
Okay, does everybody understand?
¿todos entendemos?
Mr. Bonet, do you understand?
Señor Bonilla, ¿usted entiende?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I do understand.
Okay, all right. Good luck, everyone.
Buena suerte a todos. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else needs a Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más que necesite ayuda del intérprete?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good to see you.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Dwayne Jones.
He's approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jones is before the court. Count 1 is resisting officer without violence. Count 2 is a felony violation of probation with a no bond hold. Count 3 is a misdemeanor capias, and that has a $1,000 bond attached to it. The court does find probable cause. And the bonds will remain in place. Mr. Jones does have court on Monday in his felony division. John McFadden.
Mr. McFadden, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. McFadden is before the court for a traffic capias, which is count 1. And counts 2 and 3 are felony capiases, both with no bond holds and not for magistrate. And Mr. McFadden does have court on Monday in both the felony and the misdemeanor divisions. I'm sure there's a conflict. They'll resolve it as to which one he goes to first, okay? So the court finds probable cause, and everything else remain until he sees his division judge. Dan Trias Finklin.
He's approaching, Judge.
All right, sir, you're before the court. Count 1 is a court order with a no bond hold. Counts 2 and 3 are felony capiases, also with no bond holds and not for magistrate. Count 3 is a misdemeanor capias with a $500 bond, and count 5 is a felony violation of probation, which has a no bond hold. And the court does find probable cause, and Mr. Finklin has court on Monday as well, okay? And then Kevin Jacoby Griffin.
Come on up, sir.
Mr. Griffin is before the court for count 1 is distributing or delivering cocaine. Count 2 is use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. The court does find probable cause. Does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Judge. And speaking with Mr. Griffin, I did advise him this bond. He currently had a total of $3,500 from what he advised me. because of all the bills he's been encountering right now. He can't financially afford to post that bond. My understanding, he lives in Pompano Beach with his mother and his 3 children. His mom's not working, and basically they rely on Mr. Griffin for their financial support. I believe they pay in rent about $400 per month. Now, he is working. He's been working at the same place now for about 8 months. He gets about, the company is called AOH. He gets approximately about $500 per week, and that goes towards rent, food, utilities, everything like that. So he's asking Judge if the court would consider releasing him on pretrial release.
Your Honor, just to advise the court, Mr. Griffin just got off probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, February 6th of 2018.
All right, then, Mr. Griffin, your bonds are $2,500 and $1,000. Mohammed Abosnena,
I believe that's a medical reset again, Your Honor.
oh, that's right. All right, so let's start with the shorter one on the misdemeanor hearing docket.
Yes. No, no.
We have Jacob Johnson.
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Johnson was arrested on May 24th, and so he's before the court. Did he resolve his,
He did, he resolved his other felony matters, Your Honor.
okay?
He was placed on probation on one case, but because this occurred before he was placed on probation, if he wants to resolve it, it wouldn't impact his probation.
Okay,
And that's what I figured. I understand when he came in, he had capiases and he resolved a probation. I think on the misdemeanors, he got a time served, but he wants to resolve this misdemeanor.
all right,
He
what's the,
offered be adjudication time served.
okay?
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
All right, Mr. Johnson, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, sir?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
And do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
And you understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
Yes, but I'm still focused. I'm okay.
All right, that was gonna be my next question, so you've answered it. And do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, then what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Johnson?
No content.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence, sir, is adjudication and time served. Good luck. All right, then, Robert O'Brien.
He should be at Maine.
Mr. O'Brien had VOPs.
Judge, I've been advised that by deputies he was removed. I don't know if confinement
Yes,
status
because
had.
he had felony violation of probation. And
Yeah,
He's got a
was given-
$1,000 bond on count 5.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry? Okay, all right. Okay, he's deleted from the docket. Then Shenard Neely.
Mr. Neely, come on up, sir.
So Mr. Neely was arrested on May 28th. So he's here for a second look at his bond status. And he has $25 in bond. What's going on with Mr. Neely? Oh,
Judge, he says he has nothing else holding him. I don't know if they confirm that.
see there, Judge?
I do have the
I
affidavit.
imagine you'll recall.
Yeah.
I think Your Honor might have been even trying to resolve it, but I think there might have been we weren't able to get through the.
Mr. Neely advised me if there's nothing holding him, he does want to go to trial on this case, Judge. He's asking if the court would consider an ROR in this matter.
No, I'm gonna deny ROR.
Would you consider pretrial?
Does Mr. Neely have a permanent address somewhere?
Let the judge know.
1600 Northwest 24 Terrace, and mailing address and
And someone, I know, is someone there that's gonna verify that that's your address?
of course, yeah.
All right, well then, based on the allegations, Mr. Neely will be released on a level 2 GPS.
I don't want a level 2. What if I just cop that to it? Just a trespass.
All right, what about you?
Time, sir.
Well, what about you serve 5 days in the Broward County Jail for the trespassing?
But I have 30 days, right?
You don't have 30 days on this arrest.
So what would the? Yeah, just give me the 5 days. I'm straight.
All right, just so you know, I have to ask you several questions to take this plea. So you need to be prepared to answer these questions. Otherwise, don't waste my time.
What you mean by that?
One moment, Judge.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Back to O'Brien. She's taking him off for the TC case, but for the misdemeanor case, he was supposed to remain on the second
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, yes, sir.
Excuse me. Judge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was asking you, why would I hold the GPS for a trespassing charge? That's a misdemeanor, right?
I am not having this conversation with you, sir. Based on the allegations, I believe that that is appropriate if you want to be released without posting a bond. If you don't want to do that, your other option is to be sentenced to 5 days in the Broward County Jail.
So when will be my next court date if I did R&R?
All right, Mr. Neely, what I'm gonna do is, at this time, I'm gonna impose the level 2 GPS. Okay, we are done, sir. Julie Walker,
She bonded, she's out.
Julie Walker bonded, okay.
On Mr. O'Brien, what happened was, he has an MM case, that was the one that was on the docket, and a TC case that was taken off. The TC case with the capias, he's set to go before Judge Levy Monday morning.
Okay.
I would just ask if possible, if you could ask the clerk maybe to take the MM case that was on today's docket and have that set before Judge Levy, have both cases go before Judge Levy on Monday morning. That way, if she wants to resolve the TC capias, then she can resolve the MM, and if she doesn't, then he's still gonna have the $1,000 bond on the TC case.
All right. Mr. Dante, you understand all of that request? Okay.
Nothing gets my
I know, I just want to make sure. All right, on our felony hearing docket, let's go to Andre Knudsen.
Paul Ryan, Your Honor. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, what's the status on Mr. Knudsen? Looks like it's a 30-day motion.
Yeah, I'm just checking that right now. State has not filed an information at this time.
All right, so Mr. Knudsen, you are entitled at this time to be released on your own recognizance. The state has
Yes,
not
ma'am.
formally filed the charges. It doesn't mean that the state cannot file the charges after this, so you need to make sure that you check your mail in case you have to come back to court, okay?
Okay, so I'm released today.
If there's nothing else holding you in
Nothing
custody.
else.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right. Adam Paris,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Conti?
all right.
Yeah, I got pee now.
All right. And Mr. Paris, looks like it's a 30-day motion as well?
Yes, ma'am.
don't understand.
Mr. Paris, you are before the court because your attorneys filed a motion for your release.
Mm-hmm.
They're allowed to do that 30 days after you've been in custody, and that's where we are at this time.
Your
That's
Honor,
right.
Yes,
today is I'm looking, his date of arrest was April 30th.
yes,
Today's the 31st day.
yes.
So I'd ask that this matter be reset for Monday,
Mm-hmm.
since the 33rd day would fall on Sunday.
All right, Mr. Paris, you'll be back on Monday, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I didn't get filed.
Lorenzo Coleman,
No problem.
And, Your Honor, this is a motion to release as well.
yes,
The state filed an information this afternoon. 2 counts of burglary of a conveyance, 2 counts of attempted burglary of a conveyance. All the other attempt counts were declined, so those bonds will be coming off once the jail processes the paperwork.
okay. All right, so Mr. Coleman, you heard that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so it's a 30-day motion. After 30 days, the state can file your attorney can file the motion, but it's not 33rd day yet. But they have filed the information. And it's gonna be, your bonds will end up being less once you get before your judge, because they didn't
Yes.
file all of the charges as you were originally arrested on. Okay?
All right.
All right, so good luck, sir.
What name is?
Tyrone Salters?
Main judge approaching.
There's a lot of April 30th arrests
Yes,
here
but
today.
in this instance, well, wait till. In this instance, Your Honor, based on the nature of the charges, I'm not gonna ask I'm fine with an ROR being entered.
All right, so Mr. Salters, is there anything else holding you in custody? I guess I need to ask that question, just to make sure.
No, ma'am.
No? All right.
No, ma'am.
I'll sign the order granting the ROR at this time. Felicia Smith?
She should be.
I'm sorry, Judge, who did you call?
Felicia Smith.
Oh, she's here. Come on up, ma'am. Judge, my understanding is she's on the second look docket, and I also believe that she was out on case number 192935 CF10A, in which her bondsman surrendered her bond, and I believe the total bond was $1,850. So she has $1,850 plus $3,500 on this battery offense. She advised me there's no way she can afford any sort of bond right now, so she's asking to be released on pretrial release, Judge.
Mr. Mayor, just advise you of the situation. She was already out on a felony at the time of this arrest. Her bondsman did not feel confident, so he or she surrendered the bond that had been previously posted.
Right, and she's got, she also was before the court for failures to appear in traffic court and a misdemeanor capias.
The theft was resolved, the DWS was dropped, but the fact remains that there were capias issued to begin with.
All right, at this time, I'm going to deny the request. All right. Bobby Farmer?
He's at Maine.
Mr. Farmer, come on up, please.
This is another situation, Your Honor. He was out on a grand theft at the time of this arrest. His bondsman surrendered the bond, so he's got a $1,000 bond on that. Your Honor raised his bond from $1,000 to $3,000 on his possession of heroin.
And Judge, that is true. His bondman did surrender his bond, and right now, from what he's advised me, he can't post a bond. What he's asking for, Judge, is considering everything what's going on, if the court would consider releasing him on level 2 with the ankle monitor, Judge, so he can be on the outside pending these cases.
4 years, 5 years.
Livermore Police Court.
What is the nature of the case on the one that the bondsman surrendered the bond?
One moment.
Grand theft. It's a grand theft. It's
Don't talk about
allegation.
the fact. Grand theft, I believe, Judge.
And that arrest was when?
I'm looking this all up, Your Honor. It's from, looks like it
I
goes
believe
to
about 2 months ago.
Late March of 2018.
2018?
2018, yes.
All right, I'll release Mr. Farmer to pretrial supervision on a level 2 GPS. And Mr. Farmer, you will also be subjected to random drug testing,
Thank you.
okay?
Thank you.
But he has to understand, he still gonna have to repost the bond on the bond surrender, just.
All right,
That's not before the court, Mr. Romero.
Oh, Judge, could you, or
I'm not gonna address
that be addressed?
I'm not gonna address that, it's not before me today. And the bondsman surrendered the bond, so.
Let me explain to him what's going on.
We have to get excited.
All right, who do we have next? Eric Salazar?
It's this gentleman right here, Judge.
All right, what's the situation with Mr. Salazar?
Your Honor set a $5,000 bond on a burglary conveyance.
And Judge, I believe he was out on a case and his bondsman surrendered his case, 196319 CF 10A. My understanding, Judge, on the $5,000 bond that he's currently holding him, Judge, he can't afford that. He's asking also to be released on level 2 with the monitor, and he'll abide by whatever the court sets as far as conditions.
Your Honor, the state would be opposing any modification. He was arrested May 15th for grand theft auto and touching or striking, harming a police animal. Your Honor, resisting without violence and possession of cannabis. Your Honor set the bond at $2,000. He posted and was released May 25th. 3 days before this incident, where he and his co-defendant allegedly, one moment. They parked their vehicle next to another vehicle. His co-defendant got out and smashed out the front passenger window of the vehicle. They stole the victim's purse from the front passenger floorboard. While his co-defendant was committing the burglary, he was pulling the vehicle forward to shield her from other people's views. A witness took a picture of them while they were doing this, and then they fled at a high rate of speed westbound on State Road 84. In addition to the two most recent cases, in 2018, he was convicted of 2 separate felony batteries due to prior convictions, sentenced to 100 days county jail. 09 strong arm robbery, battery on a law enforcement officer, 3 years state prison as a habitual offender. Delivery of cocaine 09, resisting without violence 09, failure to register as a convicted felon 09, theft 09, assaulting a law enforcement officer 09. Just goes on from there, Judge.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna deny the request for a pretrial at this time. The bonds will remain in place. And then we have Lamont Dixon,
North Broward, Judge.
Broward. All right, Mr. Dixon has a petty, it's a felony?
Yes,
It's a felony out of Walmart.
Denied on Salsa, yes.
Where it looks as though all the property was recovered.
Your Honor, he just was released from county jail March 18th after being sentenced to 364 days, January 28th of this year on a grand theft and 2 separate felony thefts. He had another theft in 2018, a felony theft in 2017, 364 days, felony theft resisting a merchant 2016, 364 days, felony theft 2016, 364 days, felony theft 2015, 180 days, felony theft 2013, 364 days, five more felony thefts between 2013, 2010, another felony theft in 09, theft 08, grand theft 08, grand theft 07, unemployment compensation fraud 07, grand theft 06, and a couple of aggravated fleeing and eludings in 05 and 04.
All right, I'm gonna deny that request at this time. And Mr. Dixon's bond will remain at $750. All right. I believe we're at the end of our dockets. Thank you, everyone,
You are welcome, Judge.
and have a good weekend.
You do the same.